Before free agency even begins, the Dallas Cowboys have already made a move that's got fans talking. The team has locked down safety Marquise Bell with a 3-year deal worth up to $12 million. Now, when you hear up to, your first thought might be, what does that actually mean? Well, the contract includes various incentives, and we'll dive into those details shortly. First off, let's compare this deal to the restricted free agent RFA tender. Normally, a team would offer a tender to an RFA, which gives them the right to match any outside offer. However, the Cowboys opted to extend Bell a longer-term deal with more financial security, and they bypassed the tender route altogether. So why go this way? It's likely because the Cowboys see something in Bell's potential and value his contributions to the team. By securing him early, they've also avoided a potential bidding war when the market opens, especially with a player who's proven himself to be a solid special teams asset. But here's the thing, does this deal truly benefit the team in the long run? Marquise Bell has shown flashes of greatness, especially in his role on special teams. But if we're being honest, the question is, can he elevate his game on defense? There's a lot more to this contract than meets the eye, and this move raises plenty of questions about how the Cowboys plan to structure their future. Now, I want to hear from you. What was your initial reaction to Bell's renewal? Drop a comment with just one word that sums it up. I'm curious to know what you think. But before you jump to conclusions, let's dive into the specifics of this deal and see if it truly sets the Cowboys up for success. Does this contract set Bell up for a bigger role, or is it just a safe move to lock down a key player? Stay tuned as we break it down in the next chapter. Alright, now that we've touched on the basics of Marquise Bell's new contract, let's dig into the numbers, because honestly, there's more than meets the eye. The $12 million total may sound impressive, but how much of that is guaranteed? And what's the real cap hit going to look like? First, let's talk about the structure of the deal. There are likely to be incentives built into this contract, performance-based ones that could push the total value higher. These are the types of deals that allow teams to reward players for stepping up while keeping the cap space flexible. Bell's base salary might not be sky high, but those incentives could make it much more lucrative if he plays a significant role in the defense or special teams. But here's the important part. By avoiding the RFA tender, the Cowboys have actually given themselves more flexibility. Typically, a tender means that the team has to offer a set salary, and it comes with a cap hit that they can't really adjust. Instead, the Cowboys structured this deal in a way that allows them to get Bell at a more team-friendly cost while still giving him the potential to earn more. And this is a win-win. For Bell, it gives him a shot at long-term security while he continues to develop his role. For the Cowboys, it keeps their cap space flexible and ensures that they don't overcome it if Bell doesn't pan out as expected. This deal could very well be backloaded, meaning that more of the salary comes in the later years, which would be a smart move considering the Cowboys need to maintain financial flexibility for the future. Now, let me ask you, if you were in charge, how would you grade this contract? A solid? Or maybe a little too cautious with a B or C? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know how you're feeling about this move. With all that said, let's talk about how this deal impacts the cap and what it means for future moves. This contract might not make headlines like a blockbuster free agent signing, but it could have a major impact on the Cowboys' strategy moving forward. We'll explore that next. Alright, let's shift our focus now and talk about the man himself, Marquise Bell. You know, when most fans think of Bell, they probably picture him in special teams, making big tackles and covering kicks. But here's the thing, Bell's potential goes way beyond just special teams. Let's rewind a bit. When Bell first joined the Cowboys, he was listed as a linebacker, and over time, he made the transition to safety. It wasn't an easy path, but it was clear from the beginning that he had the athleticism and versatility to be Valuable piece, his first couple of years didn't see him getting tons of snaps in the defense, but when he was called upon, he showed flashes of what he could do. Whether it was making tackles in the open field or reading the quarterback's eyes, Bell was showing that he wasn't just a guy on the sidelines, he was a player who had the skill set to contribute in bigger ways. Now, with a new defensive coordinator in Matt Eberflus, things might be about to change. Eberflus is known for his aggressive, playmaking style defense, which could open the door for Bell to get more snaps in the secondary. The question is, will Bell get the chance to showcase more of his talents in the defensive backfield, or will he remain a depth player? Look, I'm not saying Bell is going to leapfrog Malik Hooker or Donovan Wilson in terms of starting roles, but could he push for more playing time? Absolutely. With the way the defense is shaping up, there might be more opportunities for Bell to step into a bigger role, especially if the Cowboys decide to use more 3 safety sets. Speaking of those 2 safeties, Hooker and Wilson have both been solid contributors, but they each have their own question marks heading into the future. For Bell, this could be his chance to show the coaches that he deserves more than just a special teams role. His athleticism and versatility are major assets, and if the Cowboys decide to give him more opportunities in the defense, he could be ready to seize them. What do you think? Should the Cowboys give Bell more snaps on defense in 2025? Or is he better off continuing to be a key special teams player? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you think. Next, we'll dive into how Bell's situation fits into the overall plans for the Cowboys' safety group. Stay tuned. Now that we've talked about Marquise Bell's potential, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, the safety position as a whole for the Cowboys. Right now, this group is looking pretty solid, but there's always room for improvement. Let's break it down. The current roster includes a solid trio: Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, and of course, Marquise Bell. Hooker has shown his value with his ball skills and ability to cover deep, while Wilson brings a physical edge and hard-hitting mentality. But here's the thing, there's also Juan Thomas, who hasn't been as much in the spotlight, but still has some upside. With all of them in the mix, you might be thinking, is there room for one more? Now, let's throw in the possibility of cuts or trades. I know, no one likes to think about that, but the reality is, every year there are roster decisions that have to be made. Could one of these safeties be on the move? Could the Cowboys shake things up a bit and decide to make a change to either save cap space or open up room for new talent? It's possible, but even if the current crew stays intact, there's still the question of whether the Cowboys might add another safety in the draft. It's not out of the question. The team could look to add depth or even a high-potential player to compete for a starting role. Names like Shiloh Sanders have been floating around as potential targets, especially in the UDFA market. But is that enough to shake up the current group? So, what's your take? Should the Cowboys stick with the current safety group, or do you think they need to bring in a bigger name for the position? Should they make a trade or maybe even target someone in the draft? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I really want to hear what you think about the direction the Cowboys should take here. Up next, we'll dive into the bigger picture and analyze what Bell's contract really means for the Cowboys' overall defensive philosophy moving forward. Stay with me. Alright, now that we've analyzed the current state of the safety group, let's zoom out and think about what all of this means for the Dallas Cowboys as a team. The extension of Marquise Bell is more than just a move to secure a special teams player. It's a reflection of the team's broader philosophy heading into 2025. The Cowboys have a reputation for being a bit more conservative when it comes to their offseason moves. Instead of making big splashes in free agency, they tend to focus on developing and retaining their own talent. And that's exactly what we're seeing here with Bell. By locking him up for 3 years, the Cowboys are doubling down on their commitment to keeping homegrown players in the fold. Bell, who has been developed from linebacker to safety, could very well become a cornerstone of this defense, particularly with the new coaching staff in place. It's a smart move in a lot of ways, but it also speaks to the mindset of the front office, one that prioritizes continuity and development over radical changes. But here's the thing, for fans like you and me, this can be a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's great to see the Cowboys believe in their guys and show loyalty to those who've been part of the system. But on the other hand, it can feel like the team is playing it safe, almost too safe. Is this move a sign of strategic foresight, or does it lean more towards complacency? Are we about to see a defense that keeps building from within, or will the Cowboys make some bold moves when free agency rolls around? And speaking of free agency, what's next? The question is, will the Cowboys make any big moves to shake things up, or are they sticking to the plan of internal development? Do we expect any surprises, or is this just the beginning of a quiet off-season? I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think the Cowboys are showing too much loyalty, or is this part of a smarter long-term plan? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And there you have it. If you want to stay on top of everything happening this off-season, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.